Imagine finding a box hidden beneath dust, rubble, and decades of deliberate forgetting. Inside it were photographs, hundreds of faces staring back from another century. They weren't labeled, they weren't cataloged, they weren't meant to be seen again. These were the forgotten faces of an abandoned asylum. And what they reveal forces us to ask something deeply uncomfortable. How did humanity allow this to happen? The asylum had been abandoned for decades, slowly rotting in silence and neglect. Wind moved through broken windows, like breath through a dead body. Paint peeled from the walls, revealing layers of history beneath. Rusting bed frames still sat where patients once slept and waited. The halls didn't feel abandoned, they felt erased. Down deep in a collapsed wing, explorers uncovered a small wooden box. It was wedged beneath fallen ceiling tiles, hidden, not destroyed. Inside were photographs, stuck together by moisture, time, and decay. Some were neatly stacked, others scattered, as if hastily concealed. Someone wanted these images forgotten, but not gone. At first glance, the photographs seemed ordinary. Portraits, group shots, carefully posed faces. But the longer you looked, the more something felt wrong. Eyes stared past the camera, unfocused, distant, empty. Bodies stood rigid, shoulders tense, hands clenched unnaturally. These weren't memories. They were evidence. Like some photos showed bruises, scratches, restraints barely cropped from the frame. Others captured expressions frozen between fear, confusion, and resignation. No one looked comfortable being photographed. No one looked safe. Every image carried the same silent question. Why? Also, during the mid-20th century, asylums were overcrowded, underfunded, and ignored. People were admitted for grief, anxiety, trauma, or simple disobedience. Many entered voluntarily and never left. Treatments ranged from experimental to outright cruel. Control mattered more than care. One photograph showed a young woman, barely 20, standing against a blank wall. Her clothes were neat, her hair tidy, but her eyes, they were pleading. Another image showed men lined shoulder to shoulder, identical expressions of exhaustion. No smiles, no defiance, only survival. Researchers began cross-referencing the photographs with surviving medical records. Most names were gone, erased with time and intent. But occasionally, a match surfaced. A patient admitted for melancholy, a teenager institutionalized after refusing marriage. Now, these weren't dangerous people. They were inconvenient ones. People society didn't know how or want to handle. The asylum didn't just treat them, it swallowed them. These photographs were never meant to be found. Someone chose to hide them instead of destroying them. Which raises a disturbing question. Were they hidden out of shame or fear? Because remembering means admitting failure. Don't we like to believe things are better today? That mental health care has improved, that we've learned from places like this. But stigma still exists. People are still dismissed, ignored, forgotten. The walls may be gone, but the patterns remain. Every photograph in that box represented a life interrupted, a voice silenced, a story unfinished. Remembering doesn't undo what was done, but forgetting ensures it happens again. And if these walls could speak, they wouldn't ask for forgiveness. They would beg us not to look away. So tell me, should places like this be preserved or erased? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more forgotten stories history tried to bury, subscribe.